what kind of channels should you open, and how do you get your ranking higher on LN Plus. So basically, there's some rules that they've got set up so you can pull yourself up. And what I would recommend is claiming your own node. So I typically don't associate or create channels and peers with people who haven't bought their own node. That just means what you can do is you send them some Satoshis to say, hey, this is me and I'm claiming it, and they get some sats out of it. And it just, it's pay to play. And if you're willing to do that, then you're probably like actually care. And so if you actually care, then you find other people that actually care. And you could do some, well, actually I should pull this up. You can find your own rank right at the bottom here, and then you can check on like, what does this rank mean? So obviously if you want to find like the best out there, so we'll pick their rank 10 and we'll just check these people out. And you can see you don't have to have a ton of sats. Well, I guess you're going to have a lot of Satoshis in there, but I guess you don't have to have hundreds and hundreds of Bitcoins. So this guy's got, let's see, right? So every 100 million, actually he's got a lot, right? So 100 million. So yeah, this guy does have a ton of Bitcoin in there. And you go down, you can look down the list and it drops down pretty substantially, but they have a lot of channels. And if you look at them, let's take the first one. And this last guy right here. Actually, there was more of them. Let's go last. Who's the last iron, or number 10? There we go. So CoinGate, yeah, you look at his channels. So he's got, interesting, I don't know why he picked that number, but he's got 16 million in each channel. And if you go to this, go to this guy. So he's got various amounts. So it looks like, well, it looks like they're doing the same number. That's interesting. Go down the bottom and look at all of them. Yeah, so it drops down 15, 12. Anyway, he's got a ton of nodes and they're above. Let's see if they go all the way to the bottom. So he's got very few that are in just the $1 million or million sats. And so if you open up a bunch of channels that are in a million, it's going to keep you lower on the ranking system. You want, let's go find their ranking system. There we go. So you start at number 1 and you can get all the way up to 10, 10 being the highest in their ranking system. So if you want to be a routing node, then you want to be 5 or higher. And if you're just trying to get like, I guess, small transactions, then you can do the $1 million Satoshi channels, and that's tips, chatting, podcasts, and things like that. And if you're just using it for fun, then anything 3 and down is fine. So the way they recommend you get your nodes higher is to open fewer channels, but at the 2 to 3 million Satoshi level. So here's what I do when I look at a network or an opportunity. So I'll just open up these 3. Actually, I'll open a bunch. I'll just go through them. So these ones in pink right here, not pink, but I don't know, like a pinky red, are working on being opened. So 10 million Satoshi channel, 5 participants, so it's a pentagon, and he's given some requirements. So, well, I guess you have to have at least 10 million Satoshis. That kind of makes sense. That's probably not a great limiter. He probably should say 100 million Satoshis. So I don't know if I'd open up a channel with someone who just had enough to open the channel. But if you actually have 25 channels already, then you probably have more than this capacity. Anyway, so Satoshi E, let's go check him out. I'm going to click on him. I'm looking at his channels. He's got a lot of small channel, or a couple small channels. So it says right there 11. So that's probably not someone that I'd connect with now. I would at the beginning, just because I was trying to get connections to anybody. I limited it to 1 million was the smallest, and went up from there. So it's same guy. All right, so let's check on some of these guys. So his name is Click Here. Nice, I like that. That's pretty funny. So it's 1 million. I would have started with this, and they're saying, hey, let's all get started. They're asking you have at least 1 channel and 1 million Satoshis. Okay, that sounds good. If I check these guys out, And what this means right here is they're waiting on Viking Coin to do something. They probably, well, I can't see their chat, their comments, but did I get them all? So if I check out this guy, click here, I do like his name. He's got 7 channels and they're pretty small. He's just starting. So I probably wouldn't connect with these guys right here because they didn't even bother to claim their own name. So let's go check them out and see how big they are. So this guy's rank 6, so it doesn't mean that he's not trying hard. Actually, he's only got 3 channels. That's interesting. His rank climbed up that high. Wonder how old they are. But if he's not going to claim his name, he's probably not that serious, and I want to try to connect. Ooh, I like this guy's doing pretty good. So he looks like he's doing the same sort of thing. He's probably started off and then started bumping up his the amounts he would put in. This guy's just got 1 channel. So I typically don't start channels because I want to see who's getting in there. Yeah, some smaller channels. So I wouldn't initiate a connection with these guys. I'd probably wait to see who else was in the group. Yeah, see, these guys are pretty small, but their rank is pretty high. Anyway, so you can increase your rank by having larger channels, and you can pick the channels a little bit smarter because you want connections. That if you just have a bunch of channels open to nodes that only have themselves or one other, then it's not as helpful as creating a network, which is kind of what we're doing. So we look at this dragon tree and be the channel. I like that name. Orange pill. I like that. Let's see. Be the change. Let's see. He's got 60. He's rank 8. So I like this already. He's got, let's see, 100 million Satoshis is a Bitcoin. So he's got 6 Bitcoins in there. And you look down the list. Ooh, nice. 15 million. So you can go down there all the way to the bottom and see some of his smaller channels. So he did start small, and then he quickly changed. It's like, okay, I need to be doing more channels with bigger amounts of Satoshis. So about, let's see, I think 1 million Satoshis is about $230. So this is about $1,000 channel. Orange pill for you. Rank 7. So he's got 48 channels and a little bit more than 2 Bitcoin in there. So this is someone that I would also jump in with. Let's see. Click here. I still like that name. We did Viking Coin already. So he's ranked 4. He has 9 channels and he has very low sats. So that, yeah. So he's doing 20,000. So what is that on the calculator? So if 1 million was $230, let's see, 1 million, so 100,000, and then 10,000. So that's like, yeah, I think that's like a $2 channel. Hold on, I'm gonna do some math there. Yeah, so if he had, what was it, 10,000? Yeah, it's a $2 channel. So I don't know if that's even worth doing, right? So you get the idea. At the moment, it's $2. I guess later on it could jump up as Bitcoin increases in value against the US dollar, but I don't know. You can't even do a tip there, right? I guess you could, if you're streaming or watching a podcast and you're given Satoshis like that. So I mean, I don't know. That's pretty small. Anyway, so you want a larger channel to help your channel gain notoriety and for other people to want to connect to you. So let me take you through actually starting your own swap. So I could start a swap right there. So you could pick the style. So they've got recommended is 3. You can do 4, 5. Let's just pick a 5 and see what happens there. Then you can put in the amount of Satoshis that you want to open the channel for. So this right here recommends 1 million. So I would say go bigger. So let's do 3 million. This is how long that they're supposed to leave it open, for 12 months. And then these are your restrictions. So I want people who are kind of serious about this. So I'm going to say 50 channels. And I want them to have at least a Bitcoin in there. So that'd be, what's 100? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So then you can write any additional rules people could read. And that would create the swap. I don't actually want to create this one, but that's it. So this is how you kind of like self-select who can actually get in. and you just click on the liquidity swap. So if you pop back over to mine, you don't have to name it a location. I'm interested in trying to get our city into Bitcoin and doing like a Bitcoin beach here. That's a huge undertaking, but if you shoot for the stars, you may end up on the moon. Anyway, so you can see my channel capacity. It's taken a while, but 78 channels and a little over a Bitcoin in there, and most of the channels are they're on the smaller side in terms of under 10 million. I've seen those pop up. I'm sorry, not 10 million. Yeah, 10 million. That's right, because that's 6 million. So I've seen some of those pop up, and I didn't get in them. I wasn't sure what I was doing, so I'm just sort of waiting and watching. If you go down to all the way to the smallest channels, I have a bunch of. Oh, okay, I see what they're doing. So I didn't open anything less for 1 million Satoshis and 500,000. That must have been when we. Oh, I see. That's 1 ML. Yep. Okay, this is other. Those are buying, like, buy my place on 1 ML, and this is probably buying here. Actually, no. What is it called? Start 9. Yep. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful and gives you some idea on how to work inside of LN Plus. If you need any other help, let me know. One other thing that's slightly confusing is how to rebalance a channel. So you'll notice in some of these, maybe it's all the way down here. There we go. So, well, they don't give you the option. Let me go back. See some that are complete. There's a lot left opening. Let's go all the way. All right, let's go to the end. All right, complete. So, nope. Sometimes they'll request somebody to rebalance. I can't see it here. Let's see if I've got one. I think I had one that was open still. Let me go find it. Okay, so here's one that we're just finishing up. So what I would recommend before you click happy and do all the other stuff that you're supposed to do on this is I opened up a channel to C, and C opens up to A, and A opens up to B. So that's how it works, right? And it tells you right there. I wouldn't say, hey, yay, it's done. The green means he is trying to open it. I would actually go into my own node and check. So for me, it's Ride the Lightning, and check to see if this guy actually connected and put in 4 million Satoshis. So if he did, then I would give him a rating. So then it says, hey, you can volunteer to rebalance. So what that means is there's just, well, I mean, you know what rebalancing is, right? But a three-way was pretty easy. I just pick whoever I sent Satoshis to and say I want to have them send some Satoshis to the other node, and that'll rebalance the Satoshis between us. And you want to start off with a balanced channel because then you have liquidity on the remote and the local side. If you don't, well, you don't have to balance it over time. If they're an active node, then it should start balancing itself. And actually some nodes will crank your Satoshis all to one side, and then they'll just sit there. So those ones you do definitely have to go back and rebalance because it might not fix itself over time. But that's a whole other video.